Chapter 15, Angles in Parallel Lines. Identify and use angles in parallel lines. We've got 11 examples here. I'll pause it, but you can pause the video twice. So have a go at examples 1 through to 5 first of all. Pause the video. And then 6 through to 11. Okay, let's understand parallel lines. When we've got two lines that are parallel, they are equal distance apart at all times. They would never cross. If we draw another line that does cross them, called a transversal, it'll create lots of angles that are the same size. And we've got here this first rule that corresponding angles are equal, and to look out for this F shape. So what's the F shape first of all? If you see here, that is an F shape, and the angle inside the F, they are equal. But it isn't always an F shape. It could be, the F shape could be back to front. If we look at the last one, this is a back to front F here. The top right is is upside down F. And the bottom left is upside down and back to front. So why are they equal? Let's look at the W first of all. Struggling. Yeah, okay. There we go. So here is the W, and if we just slide that up, the angle's not changing. You can see that it stays the same size. So it doesn't matter if you have that transversal, see this line here. It doesn't matter if you cut it here or in between. If it's going to go parallel, it's always going to cut at the same angle. So we could even have that cut in there, in which case this angle in here would be W as well. Let's look at the Y's. We've got, so it's just quite hard to operate. Here we go. There's the Y. If you just imagine that sliding down, it always stays the same size and it stays to there. So you just imagine the same angle, just cut exactly the same way, just higher up. Do it 2 more times. We've got our X this time, and we can just bring that up, same angle. So we could cut here, create X, cut here, because the parallel lines are going the same direction, the same angle, so the angle stays the same. And finally, Z. Got the Z, and it stays the same size, that angle. Okay. One obvious thing, but it's important. The angles are the same size, so if they'll both be obtuse or they'll both be acute, they can't be different if they're the same size. Next one is alternate angles. So with alternate angles, you're looking for a Z shape. So here we've got sort of Z, and the angles inside your Z are the same size. So this one here, this one here. Or the Z could be sort of stretched out a little bit, or could be back to front. So there's another example of the Z shape, and these two angles are the same. The way to think of the alternate angles are, these are angles that are inside the parallel lines. Okay, so the angles, you're looking at angles inside the parallel lines, there's 4 of them. And the angles are equal that are on alternate sides of this here line that cuts, the transversal. So alternate angles are inside the parallel lines and on alternate sides. Inside the parallel lines and on alternate sides. And finally, we've got interior angles. Now, interior angles are not the same. You can see here, we've got an indication of 2 angles that are interior. Interior angles are sometimes called co-interior angles, add up to 180 degrees. So you can look for a U shape. If you turned it around, it would be a U, or maybe a C, or a back to front C. So this one here is a C shape. Here's back to front C. And sometimes if the lines are parallel vertically or more upwards direction, you could have a U shape, where these two would be interior if those lines are parallel. So the rule is here, now this is sort of the opposite of alternate. Alternate angles are inside the parallel lines on alternate sides. Interior angles are inside the parallel lines but on the same side. And that's why they're not going to be the same size. That's why they add up to 180. The reason for that is that H, if you slide up using corresponding angles, this angle up here would be H. I could mark it on because they're corresponding. And then these two angles are on a straight line, so they add up to 180. So G and H add to 180. Or here, I could slide the I down to here. It would be the same size down there. And then you can see that I and J are on a straight line, so I and J add to 180. I and J, they are interior angles. You could also call them supplementary, because supplementary is the term we give for any angles that add up to 180. Example 1. Write down which pairs of angles are corresponding. So there's a few options here. The diagram might get quite messy, so we'll just trace it out. Corresponding angles, we're looking for an F shape. So we get B and H. B and H. But you could also do corresponding the ones above that, D and E. They will correspond. You could go to the left hand side with F and G. Or you could go above that, C and A. So here and here. That's the back to front F that's upside down. Alternate angles, they have to be inside the parallel line. So alternate with H would be inside the parallel line, so down here, but on the alternate side, so this one here. So we've got our sort of Z shape, H with C. Or if we choose another angle inside the parallel lines, the G, and there's our Z shape. On the alternate side, we've got D, so G and D. Interior angles, they are inside the parallel lines as well. So it's looking at G, H, C and D. Which ones are interior? H and D, they are on the same side, so they would add to 180. They are interior. And G and C, they are on the same side of that line, so they add to 180. Example 2, find X. So if we look at the 57 degrees, it's there. We can extend it onto where X is, and we've got that back to front F. This angle 57 just would slide up, and X would be 57 as well. So they are corresponding. Would be the, sometimes you're asked the reason, not just the value, so you'd have to say they're corresponding. For Y, we've got Y here. If we trace it out, and then trace out, you can see 71's up there. That's upside down F. So they are corresponding angles too. You could just get that 71, slide it down to here. It's the same size, they're both acute. So Y would be 71. Doesn't ask you actually there, but we'll just do it anyway. Work out the size of X. If we trace out X, we can trace out 62, and you can see a Z shape there. So X would be 62, because it's alternate with the other 62. Example 4. We've got a triangle here. We've got to find angle ACB. So let's trace that out so we can see where it is. A to C to B. So we're looking for this angle here. Let's call that X. Well, it corresponds with the 48. You've got that F upside down, back to front F shape. The 48 degrees would just slide down here, it wouldn't change the angle. So X, or ACB, would be 48. Number 5, find X. Well, we've got, if we trace this out, we've got a Z shape between the 45. Now it's at an angle, or it's vertical, more like an N, I suppose, but if you turned your device around, you could see that Z shape, and X is 45. Number 6, find X. Well, if we trace around the X, and then trace around the 80, you can see we've got that Z shape, we've got alternate angles. 80 and X are inside the parallel lines and on alternate sides of this line here. So they are alternate angles. They're equal, so X is 80. Example 7, find BDC. Let's trace that out. B to D to C. Now I can't see anything that sticks out straight away apart from this angle on the bottom right. The angle on the bottom right we don't know, but we can see also a triangle here between A, B and D. So if we work out the third side of the triangle by doing 180 minus 80, which is 100, minus 56, which is 44, we can work out that angle's 44. And then B to D, C, this one here, is alternate with that. So BDC is 44. Okay, example 8. Find angle ACB. If we trace it out with the parallel line, we can also trace out the 70 degrees at the same time. We get that C shape, or if you turn your device around, a U shape. These angles are interior or co-interior. They add to 180. So X would have to be 110. 110 plus 70 gives you 180. And you can see they're not the same size. This one's acute, this one's obtuse, so the rule is not that they're equal. Example 9. Find X. If we trace out X, we've got this angle here. Now, that would be the same as this angle here as well. They're corresponding, that's sort of an F shape, hopefully you can see. So if I could work out this angle, that would help me to work out this angle here. What can I actually do? I know this one's 125 and it's on a straight line, so I can work out this one here would be 180 minus 125, which is 55. And then I've got this small triangle. I know angles in a triangle out to 180, so I can take off 30 to give me 150, take off 55 to give me 95. So this angle at D is 95, and then the angle X is corresponding to that, so X would be 95. Example 10. Find angle E and angle F. Angle E, I can see these relatively quickly. It'll take you a bit of time and just practice to see these. We've got a parallel line, another line, and a parallel line. So that creates a Z shape. And E is alternate with the 68. So E is 68. I can even mark that in. How do I find out F? Well, there are actually lots of ways to do this question, but one way is to spot this triangle here, and I can work out this angle at the bottom. If I do 180 minus the 17 minus the 68, that would give me 95. So the angle here is 95. And then using old rule, these angles are vertically opposite. So F would be the same size as 95. F is 95. Question 11, find A. So to find out A is not really on the parallel line, so it's going to have to do a little bit of working out first. There are multiple ways of doing this question. Try and keep it straightforward. We've got 120 degrees here, and it's on a straight line with this angle. This angle would have to make up 180, so it would have to be 60. If we slide that 60 degrees angle, if we slide it upwards to here, you can see that 60 degrees slide up to here is the same size. So this one here is 60 degrees. They're called corresponding. And then we've got a small triangle, QTU. Angles in a triangle out to 180. So if we do 180 minus the 60 is 120. Minus the 50 gives us 65. So that remaining angle, A, must be 65 degrees.